welcome to camper van conversion in bite-sized chunks. If you happen to have come across this page through some random link, you might want to click on the link in the top right hand corner to take you back to the introduction to tell you a little bit more about these videos and how you can get the best out of them.
Okay, so one of the first jobs I done on my van was to fit a roof light, and because that's a good thing to kick off with for two reasons. First of all, you can get some light pouring into the van and help you with the fit out of some work. I only put one in my van, but some people like a couple. But I tell you what, it's a really good thing to do, because what you're doing effectively is you're doing a tin opener job on your van. You're cutting a 400 by 400 or maybe bigger hole in your roof, and once you've done that, you smelt the coffee. You're good to go, because you're committed at that stage. You've just knocked a couple of grand off the value of your van doing that, but you're going to be adding a lot more on as you build it out. The rough rule of thumb is for every pound you spend, you add £3 worth of value on top of the base van price. That's what someone told me, but I'm not doing this to make money. This is to because I want the project. So this video diary is going to just run through what I did in fitting my roof vent, just in case there's some stuff that's of use to you there. But as I say, it's a good one to get going. So let's look at the video diary.
Okay, so I use a Fiamma vent, really designed for a purpose-built motorhome or caravan. So you won't be doing exactly as the instructions say, and you'll see why later. But it's a great vent. It's got a mosquito net in it, a controlled opener, and get yourself something like that. Get yourself a couple of tubes of high-grade, marine-grade, high-modulus silicone rubber sealant. None of your builder's rubbish. You've got need good stuff for this. And that will operate, or will be good from -40 to +120 degrees C. So good stuff. Okay, so looking at the vent then, in the background you've got the main vent that sits on the roof. In the foreground you've got the mosquito net in the inner frame with the controller. We're not going to need that for this job because that goes into your lining. Okay, so get your instructions and find out what size hole you've got to cut in it. How big is that aperture? Make sure you know exactly what that's got to be. Then you can chuck your instructions in the bin, because actually you'll see it's designed for going into a caravan skin or a motorhome skin, not a DIY conversion steel roof. Okay, but make sure you know what size that hole's got to be. Right, and what I did is I made a template for the right size. On this Fiamma vent it's 390mm square. Applied template, which I used as a guide for the jigsaw. I put another piece of wood on the other side so it's got a level track. Cut some holes into the blade to start it off with, and that's how you're good to go. But make sure you get it right. Taking a look at the vent again, if your template is the size of the flange indicated by the red arrow, it's too big. You've cut it wrong. That vent's going to fall through. It needs to be the size of the flange indicated by the green arrow, which is 390 square on this Fiamma vent. So what I did was to drill a hole dead right in the centre of the template, marked it with the X on the corners. You can see, in fact, I had 2 screws in the end. That way I could secure it to the van nice and secure so it didn't move about while I was cutting. Now what you want to do is the hole that you're going to push that bolt through, that goes through the van, drill that from the inside the van. So place your template on the inside the van where you want your vent, so you can get it in exactly the right position. Okay, there I'm up there, cutting away. I put a prop inside the van to support the roof as I was cutting through. And there it is, 390mm square. Hole in my van, just knocked 3 grand off its value. Okay, now this is where you get to learn from my mistake. What you're seeing there is the vent that I've siliconed in, and I've screwed it down in 4 corners with a view to going back and putting the other ones in later. Big mistake, because now I've got to drill through that silicone that's gone off, and I've done that on a couple before taking these pictures, and it's really difficult to do. So you want to do all 20 in one go. So drop the vent in dry first. On this one I think it was a 4mm drill. I could just pass it straight through the fixing points on the vent onto the van. So effectively the vent was using as the template to where to drill those 20 holes. Okay, and make sure you've got the right size bolts. You see I didn't have the right size bolts, I've got to nip those off later. Okay, alright, load silicone on when you drop it in, and you've got about 20 minutes, so you've got to work fast before that silicone tacks off, and put up, loads on the flange, drop it in, bolts down, screw it down tight. And there you go. One thing you've got to remember is to have the hinge end towards the front, but that's, I think, pretty obvious. You will need someone to help you to put the nuts on the bolts as you pass through, and then to hold them as you tighten it up. You'll need plenty of silicone, because if you've got a van like mine, you've got ribs on it, so you need quite a lot of gap filling going on there. That's why you need a good high quality modular silicone as well. But there it is. It tacked off a bit quick for me. You need to be going fast. I wasn't aware. 20 minutes is your tops, so get everything ready to go. It's a little bit messy up there. I've got to go and tidy it up. But we've had lots of rain, and it's bone dry, and it does shed a lot of light through. And I've done something a bit nervy, a bit edgy. I've drilled cut a hole in my van, so a good thing to get going on. Once you've done that, you would have smelt the coffee, and you'll be good to go for the rest. So, good luck then, plenty of preparation, cut the hole the right size, you get one shot.
Rooflight. The only thing I would say is I wish I'd put the Rooflight bit further back. That's really a design issue. Quite happy with my Rooflight. I just got the one, and I used a marine grade silicone sealant, as you saw in the main disc. The most popular brand that people seem to be using is a thing called Sikaflex. It's not quite as expensive as well, and everyone's using it. So I would say get your Sikaflex, because you can get that easily at Screwfix and B&Q and those sort of places. I think it's about £7 a tube. So not really necessary to go for that high grade marine silicone sealant that I did. But that's it really.